Hello and welcome to Model Railroading for Dummies, the how-to show for model railroading dummies, just like me. Now I know last time I said that we're going to be weathering. Why not? We're actually going to be doing something that I have never ever done before. That is, I'm going to add some decals to the model. I was looking at some of the decals I've gotten from some of the kits and stuff. And I know some decals I thought would look nice on the model. That's from the wooden grain elevator. I've had one of those. I built one of those ones before, and I had the decals for it. And I was looking at it, and I saw some decals that I thought would really look nice. So we're gonna add those today. So I'm just gonna blunder my way into this. I have no idea how well this is gonna turn out. I hope it's gonna turn out. So, without any further ado, let's go down to my desk and start applying the decals. Okay, here we are at the desk. Now, what I'm going to be using here is this Farmer's Co-op here. It's in white, which is why you can't see it. I can barely see it myself. But I don't think I'm going to go for the full Farmer's Co-op. I'm just going to go for Farmer's Cooperative. I'm just going to go with the Co-op and cut it after the Co-op part. I think that's more common to just see the co-op versus the full cooperation. So I got a real good, nice scissors here that I'm going to use to cut it. So I know there's official decal scissors. Okay. Be very careful because it can't see really well. There, I think I got that. Trim this decal film just a little bit there, just like that. Try and get as little decal film as possible. Try and get as fairly close to the letters as possible. Which is extremely hard when you're using white paper, which was printed on, or white decals printed on white paper. I think I got it good. There I got the farmers. Now for the co-op. Okay, put that off to the side. Finish trimming this up a bit. Man, I can't see that P very well for some reason. There, I think that'll work. Okay. Now we need to position it on the model. So I'm thinking right there. Yeah, I think I'm liking that. Right about here. So one thing to note, make sure you gloss coat the area which I have done. I've heard let it dry for 24 hours. It's been pretty much exactly that. So that's good. So now we're going to want to soak the decals. Now, they recommend distilled water because it doesn't have any minerals or anything like that in there. And that's almost a requirement for me because we got well water. And so the minerals in there can cause little white spots and stuff. Not only that, it's hard. It's great drinking water. But there. So I got this lid here. So let's stick it in. I believe they like the curl. There we go. Probably should have warmed the water up a little bit. Yeah, I think they recommend warm if I'm not mistaken. Okay, while we're waiting for that to soak a little bit, I'm going to take some Microset from Microscale Industries, or you get it from Micromark. And then we're going to cover the area where we're going to put the decals. I'm just going to do the farmer's part first. Okay, put the cap on. So hopefully this is wet enough. Carefully put this on the model. Let's see if I can get this thing to slide properly. It needs some more soaking, I think. Ooh, it's starting to come off this way. Okay. There we go. She slides nicely now. One thing to note about decals, or at least so I've heard, is that they are extremely easy to rip. So pretty much just think of it as a piece of paper in and of itself is fairly strong, but if you get it wet, it can rip a lot easier. I think decals or something's a little bit similar. Come on, move. paper out of the way. Maybe try and use the paper to there, that moved it a little bit. There, I think that's good. Now we're going to try and dab this on. I'm using a couple different sponges here. I don't know how well this is going to go because it's not exactly a flat surface. Should get this thing out of the way. So we'll use this little sponge here. Okay, I'm going to try dabbing this on with a cotton swab. Okay, now I think we're gonna kind of swab this up a bit. Now we're gonna go for the co-op, and we'll go get the Microset. There, that one went on pretty good. Get this paper out of the way. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So now let's See if I can carefully pour this in. There. Didn't do too bad. Didn't spill much. Okay, now we're going to want to put on some Microset. So, this stuff helps to soften the decal and helps it to conform to the surrounding substance or whatever, which we definitely need for this model with all those little grooves and everything. Okay, so I'm gonna let that go for now. Okay, so this is probably going to require several different applications of Microset. So they advise it to dry, and then if there's any air bubbles, we'll just take a hobby knife or a pin or something and try and prick them. Try and get that air out, then apply some more or Microset. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, the decals have dried, and because of the real rivety type stuff, it was not perfect. I think you could be able to see that there. But from a distance, it can pass muster. I'd say it can pass muster, especially when we weather this, which will probably be next time. So I think when we do that, I think it will pass muster. Which, as a motoroni dummy who has never done decals before, and who doesn't know exactly the best way to do it with that type of molding, I think I did alright. Okay, that's going to have to be it for today. So, the decals, I think they went, overall they went pretty well, considering the fact that I really did not have much, I knew what to do, but I've not had any experience doing decals. So, I think overall I did alright. So, next time I think we will be doing some weathering. So that's what I think we're going to be doing. Also, you got a bonus modeling tip here. Today when I was working, I happened to hear a train coming on the Rapid City Pier and Eastern Railroad. I looked out the window to see, because I was working at Pioneer sorting little packets of seeds. So I heard a train coming, so I went to look and say, oh, we'll see what it is. Saw a couple Burlington Northern Santa Fe locomotives hauling a flat car with this great big load of something. A gigantic piece of machinery or something, I'm not sure which. And it had a caboose. I've never seen a caboose. It was in all the years I've seen trains go by. I suppose the caboose was probably there, so because I noticed that there was a guy in the cupola area. So undoubtedly he's there to watch the load. Help watch the load. So that may be something you might want to consider for modeling. Yeah, we don't use cabooses today, more the pity. But there are still situations where they are still used. So this would be a situation. You got a gigantic load, so they would probably attach a caboose to it so they can have an extra person keeping an eye on the load. So if you like this video, please feel free to leave a like or subscribe. And if you do subscribe, make sure to hit the little bell icon so you receive notifications when I release new content. So until next time, keep working on your model railroads, keep having fun, and until next time, keep your trains on the tracks.